WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com. WDBFradio.com.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Roger's Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Roger's Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out. Fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard, North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pests and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378. You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah. Fishing in
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Hi, good morning, everybody. It is one of those mornings here in South Florida where we are referring to what is commonly known as liquid sunshine. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, be the first on your block to experience liquid sunshine here in South Florida. It's going to rain. Good morning, Captain Hook. And this morning I have my co-host is Captain Hook, and it is an honor and privilege to have him on with me. Good morning, Captain Hook. Thank you for joining in.
Good morning, good morning. At least the weather is just a little bit better over here on the West Coast. Not much better. It's overcast, but so far no rain.
I think it's going to be on and off. We've seen a couple of waves come through this morning already. A little bit of light rain and then just overcast and then some light rain again. And it's not going to be one of the better days to go outdoors, but if wherever you are, you know, this is so true here in South Florida. It could be just looking like it's the end of the world in Palm Beach County, and down in Miami it is just bright sunshine. So if we're telling you that it's overcast here and it's a little overcast on the other side of the state, don't let that gloom you out. If you want to go out, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you'll find a little sunshine out there somewhere. That's why we're called the Sunshine State. Anyway, we have a full show lined up for you today. We have lots of information. We're going to have Robert Warner coming on. Robert is with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. Mike Simcoe, he's going to talk to us a little bit about kite fishing. I am so intrigued with kite fishing. I have something I want to do, and I'm going to plan on doing that here shortly within the next month or so. Kyle Sikora with the one and only Dockside Fuel Service. Mike Lindell. Mike is with the King of the Glades tournaments. He's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on in the backwaters. And then we'll have Carol Strickland. Carol is with Mermaid Vodka. She's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on with her product, as well as she sponsors a fishing team, so we can get a little bit of an idea about what's going on with her fishing team as well. And from what I understand, they already have done. If they haven't already done, they will be doing some kind of a TV series of some sort. So it'll be very interesting to hear about that. So right now, just a small discussion between the two hosts here, the host and the co-host. Captain Hook, what's it looking like with regard to fishing over there?
Well, they haven't heard a whole lot of fishing reports over here. The weather's been a little off and on over here. Over on the beach side, they've been catching some, right off the beach, they've been catching a few snook and a couple kingfish right in the inlets.
Wow.
And so that was pretty amazing. Not great big kings, but, 20, 30 pound kings. I think one guy got one, a 28 pounder over right in the, pass. It's
wow.
Right in the pass. So.
And do you know what they're doing for bait?
Yeah, they were using live shrimp.
Wow.
And some people are using, artificial lures. With the, like the bombers or pole jigs.
I don't know why. I must be hooking it wrong, but I've never done good with live shrimp and the fast moving fish. They seem to rip the shrimp off before they can get the hook.
Right.
But I do good if we're using like pilchards or something like that, hooking through the back. I do fine with that. I don't have any problem, but for some reason when I'm using live shrimp, or when you're hooking a live shrimp, I hook mine through the head. Is that where you hook it?
No, I hook mine through the tail.
I gotta try maybe that's where I'm making a mistake.
Well, I tried it all kinds of different ways. It depends on what you're doing. It's like sometimes if you've got a bunch of little mangrove snapper around you, and they'll come in there wherever you hook the hook, they're going to eat around the hook.
Smart little burgers.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, before I forget, today's a very special day, and I want to make sure that those special people are acknowledged today. All of you moms that are out there, excuse me, I've been sick for a couple of weeks and I'm fighting something going on in my throat this morning. Anyway, all of you moms out there, today is Mother's Day. God bless you. God keep you. I am forever grateful for my mom who carried me before she knew me and stuck up for me, fought my battles for me when I was little. There is nothing like a mom. I think it is a direct reflection of God. You can't find anything more beautiful. I hope you have a wonderful day. Each one of you moms out there, enjoy yourselves. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for what you do. It is a thankless job. And remember this, when you take mom and you turn her upside down, what do you get? You get wow, and that is exactly what a mom is all about. Anyway, I think we have Robert on the line with us, Robert from Florida Fisherman Magazine. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, sir. I've been called worse, but that's okay.
Yeah, me too. But that's all right. So, but no, I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there.
I'm just teasing you.
It should be a great day for everybody, and hopefully they're staying dry out there. It's raining a lot right here where I am. But
I think you're just a little north of me, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting it to head this way because as I'm looking outside here of the window in the studio, it's getting darker and darker as I'm talking. So yeah, it's going to be. We'll have liquid sunshine here very shortly.
Yep. So anyway, good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? And fishing's been great. All up and down the East Coast, there's dolphin coming in everywhere. So grouper season is here, and the grouper have arrived just in time. Fishing's been excellent, both coasts. So I don't know what you guys have heard, but like I said, there's been like 2 or 3 dolphin tournaments in the last week. I want to congratulate Don DeLeon for catching a 40-plus pounder, winning the one down in the Keys yesterday. But been a great week for fishing.
Well, can you tell me? I completely lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Lord have mercy. I was going to ask you a question and I just completely went blank. Goodness. All right. Well, I'll have to pass that and just work on to the next one. So it's one of those things where it's right on the end of your mind. You know, you walk in your room and you go, what anyway.
Yes. I'm here for what?
No, that's right. That's just getting old. You know, what can you do? You know?
Well, you know, growing up is optional. Getting old, you don't have any choice about it. I refuse to grow up. I continue to do the silly things that I did when I was younger. I posted on the Fish Florida show on Facebook. There's a new disease out. We're gonna have a public service announcement, ladies and gentlemen. There's a new disease out, and the disease is called fishing pox. It's very contagious to adult males. Please be aware of this. The symptoms are continual complaint about fresh air. The patient has a blank expression. They have no taste for work. They are frequently checking their tackle box or their tackle catalog or online looking for tackle, and they mumble to themselves about fish constantly. And the treatment for this, the only treatment is known, is that the patient should go fishing as often as possible to alleviate all symptoms. There is no known cure. So you ladies out there, when your husband is doing these and showing these symptoms, you know exactly what to do. Hand him the fishing pole, hand him the tackle box, give him the keys to the boat, see you bye.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that disease. I was born with that, and it's been years. I've been working on what they said, and I've been doing all the right things, and it doesn't seem to cure it. You know, as much as I try, you know, I've listened to my doctors. I go fishing as often as possible. I check my tackle box at least 2 or 3 times a day, and but it doesn't seem to ever quite go away. So just so they're warned or pre-warned out there, this could go on for quite some time. So bear with them, be patient, and just take them fishing. They'll be happy.
It could be a lifetime thing. I want to know why we don't have Fishing Day. You know, we have Mom's Day, we have Dad's Day, we have all these days, President's Day, this day. Why don't we have Fishing Day? I want to put that up. I want to set that up.
Well, why don't we do that right now, Riscala? Why don't we just set a day right now and make it Fishing Day?
There you go. What's a good day to go fishing?
Pick a day. Let's say June 15th.
Is that what day of the week is that?
I have no idea what that is. It's right in the middle of the greatest fishing month in the state, as far as I'm concerned. So it's dead in the middle. So let's just make it June 15th. That is Fishing Day.
June 15th is a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Be out there and enjoy yourself. Celebrate this disease, this fishing pox disease.
We might have to stretch that out till Monday too. You know. Okay.
Yeah, that can be a 3-day weekend, I think. Yeah. So.
There you go. So, are there any other? This is kind of a silly question, but are there any tournaments happening right now that are current? I know we've had a couple of them that have completed. Anything happening currently?
They just finished. The Bull and Cow tournament finished last week. This last one was the Habitat for Humanity tournament down in the Keys. There are a couple coming up in your area in West Palm. They can check the Chase and Tails tournament page for that. and it's TAILZ on that. So, but yeah, just check the Chase and Tails tournament page. They normally have them all up. You can contact Summer Warren. She normally has all the tournaments in the state that are going on. She keeps track of all of that, and I don't, unfortunately, but she sends me updates. But you can always just go to the Chase and Tails tournament page, and they normally have everything listed up there. So,
and spell that again. How's it spelled?
It's Chase and Tails, and the Tails is spelled TAILZ.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm writing that down so we can post it.
Yep. And we'll try to get them into the magazine. I'll try to get the list from her, and we'll get them into the magazine, which is coming out Monday or Tuesday, I believe. So,
can you tell me anything about what's going on in the backwaters, freshwater or inland?
I can tell you this much. Anybody that knows, speaking of Mother's Day, Rosemary Jadanuth White, everybody knows her. She caught a huge bass yesterday. She was fishing inland from Sarasota, so but yeah, there's been some great bass catches coming in. There was a couple tournaments they just ran up South Carolina area. Lots of bass coming in up in that area. I have seen some reports off of Lake Okeechobee, but again, the weather has been not great. So, you know, they got these especially out in Lake Okeechobee, they got these storms that build up every afternoon and just sort of dump on them. But
I know I have seen literally the build up over the. It is really a wild phenomenon to watch. I'll be driving around. It'll be a clear day, and I can watch the clouds building up over the lake. You can literally watch clouds being made in front of
Yep.
you. I mean, if you sit there long enough, in the span of about 15 or 20 minutes, you can watch these huge clouds, and it's right over the lake. It's got to be coming from the lake. It's the moisture rising up
Yep.
from the lake.
and the heat.
It is.
Yep.
It is really an amazing thing to watch. And you know,
it
sometimes
just drifts straight to us. So.
yeah. And sometimes early in the morning, if like I'm out on the beach, you can watch some of the clouds being formed as the water is evaporating and rising up. You can actually watch. It's the most amazing thing in the world, because you know who walks around looking up all the time. So when you see something like that, it just kind of reminds me of just how awesome of a place that we have that we live on, and all the different things that we have here. Really,
Also, the tarpon fishing has been excellent. I was just flipping through something. Tarpon fishing has been excellent down in the Keys. The folks from some of the backcountry charter places down in the Keys have been sending in some pictures of some big tarpon they've been catching. So the tarpon are biting. The mahi are out there. Saw some great mutton snapper bites coming in from all the way from Fort Pierce all the way down to the Keys. You know, so the fishing's been great. So get out there. Not necessarily today or tomorrow, but after that, get on out there and get yourself some, because you don't want to get caught up with that disease. So,
yeah, I'm telling you. When you mentioned the mahi, I don't know if you heard about this, but I think it was down in the Bahamas or Bimini, one of the two. Somebody pulled in 180-pound bull. Did you see that?
No, that was actually a Photoshop by Kerry Chin.
Oh, was it? Son of a gun!
Yeah.
I was
He
salivating.
got everybody with that one. He got everybody with that one.
Oh,
and
my
it's
God.
funny
I'll tell
because
you what, I sat there and I looked at that fish.
He sent a picture to Richard DeLeon, who sent me the picture. We put it up on the social media page. It had 170,000 people see it in one day, and got some a whole lot of comments. Some of them were quite humorous, but
I kind of looked at that. I'm not kidding. I probably looked at that picture for 10 or 15 seconds straight with my jaw open, going, "That is impossible." I didn't think they can't get that big, can they? Not that I'm aware of.
No, they can't. But if you see the picture again, take a look at the shadow behind the fish. He posted the original picture, which was those same two guys with a wahoo.
Uh-huh.
And if you take a look at the shadow behind that dolphin, it's the long, thin shadow of the wahoo. But
oh my!
But it was a pretty good job. I thought he did a pretty good job on the picture. So, you know.
To your knowledge,
but yeah, and actually, we estimated that one would have been well over 200 pounds by the size of it and the size of the people standing next to it.
Yeah, it
would have been well over 200 pounds. So,
like maybe 7 or 8 feet long. That thing.
Yeah, well,
Your knowledge, what's the largest that you've ever heard of a bull being caught?
Right around 100 pounds. They're
my goodness.
I think the state record, I think, is 101 or something like that. But
wow. Well, many years ago, the largest fish I ever caught was a bull, a bull mahi, or dolphin as they refer to him, and it was 42 pounds. We caught that off of, I think it's called Alligator Rock Lighthouse in the Keys. We were about 8 miles due east of that, out and close to the close to the shipping lanes, and we pulled that in out there. But I was amazed when so they fooled me. Okay, they got you. They got me one time.
They fooled a lot of people, not just you. They fooled a whole lot of folks. So, but yeah, you can thank Kerry Chen for the artwork on that. It was pretty well done. So
yeah, it's a big fooler on me. That's for doggone sure. So anything else that you want to mention to us before I've got a couple of minutes here. Anything you want to share with the listeners that's coming up?
Not a thing. Just like I said, when you get a chance, the magazine will be coming out probably Tuesday or Wednesday. You can catch that at flfishmag.com. It'll also be on social media, of course. I think we've got some stuff from you guys, or hopefully we got some stuff from you guys we're going to be putting into the magazine. Excellent. I got a hold of Wanda. So
excellent.
And the Fish Florida group, we'll have them in the magazine. So, but other than that, like I said, just wait till this next couple of days when the weather's gone, because the fishing has just been excellent. And after this front, it's going to be even better. So,
all right, my friend. Well, thank you so much. I am forever grateful for you calling in. It's almost like having you as a regular, and I greatly appreciate it.
I like spending my Sunday mornings with you. I sit on my back porch and have coffee and talk to you guys about fishing. Nothing gets better than that. So.
God bless you, man. Well, thank you for calling in, Robert. That's Robert with the Florida Fisherman Magazine, and I'll be looking forward to speaking with him again soon. We are up against the break, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't go away. It's the Fish Florida Show this morning with Riscala and Captain Hook.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting cooking or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out. Fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Alright, grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper, so fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, good morning, everybody. We are back. I had to take a quick break there. This morning it is me, Riscala, yours truly, with my co-host, Captain Hook, over there on the other side of the state. So you have one of us is on the east side and one of us is on the west side. Hello there, west side. How are you?
We're doing pretty good over here in Clearwater, except it looks like the rain is headed our way.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's going to be most of that for the rest of the day today for the majority of South Florida. And I believe we have Mike on the line, Mike Simcoe with kitefishing.com. I'm always intrigued with kite fishing. I had mentioned earlier, this is something I really do want to do here in the next month or so. Go out there and experience the thing. I've always thought that kite fishing was a simple thing. I've come to find out it can be simple, but it can also be quite interesting, to say the least. So anyway, good morning, Mike. Thank you for taking the time to call in. Greatly appreciate it, sir.
Good morning, Riscala. Captain Hook, how you guys doing today?
Well, they're doing pretty good, so seeing we're inside. But
Exactly. Well, I'm actually sitting in Daytona Beach right now, and it's actually beautiful. I don't know how it's going to change, but it's probably coming our way now.
yeah, I just looked at the radar, and they showed some circulation, and it looked like all of it was starting to wind up and kind of come across the southwest part of the state, and then move on up through the state, and then mostly over here on the west coast. It looks like so. You might get a reprieve over there, Mike.
Hopefully. Well, it's a good day or morning right now over here to get out and enjoy the day, beach. Yesterday there was a tournament that was held out of Ponce Inlet, and the conditions couldn't have been more beautiful. I mean, flat seas, and the fish, it turns out, were pretty far offshore, so it just helped those guys that had to get out there.
Was that tournament, was anything specific on the tournament, or was it is like a what do they call it, a weight tournament, a meat tournament?
It was a weight tournament. It was mostly KDW, kingfish, dolphin, wahoo.
Mm-hmm.
And some of every species were caught, so it turned out to be a pretty good day for those guys.
So you're seeing you're seeing wahoo all the way up in Daytona? I mean, not wahoo. I apologize. I apologize. Not wahoo, dolphin. You're seeing dolphin all the way up in Daytona?
Actually, from the reports I'm hearing, the mahi have moved. They migrated very quickly. We were catching quite a few nice ones off of South Florida a week and a half ago. Daytona was tearing them up here midweek, and now I understand there's a great bite off of St. Augustine. So we're seeing a bite that's happening, moving very quickly.
So if I understand you correctly, they're moving north?
Moving north, yeah, this time of year.
Wow. I so much enjoy doing this show for many reasons. One is I'm constantly learning, always learning. I always thought, this is my ignorance because I really didn't know, but I always thought that they migrated south.
Well, keep in mind, so we're coming into summer weather, so that, typically when it's wintertime, they move out of the cold and push a little bit, they push to the south during the fall and winter, get to the warmer water, hook around the, Straits of Florida and move into the Gulf. They'll slide north at this time of year, spring, as it starts to warm up, and they'll end up, when we fish tournaments off in Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard in the summer, there's plenty of mahi up there in the canyons. So it's just kind of a northern push this time of year.
Right. Plus, we have that low pressure area moving into the area, and that'll kind of push them around too.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm looking at the radar. It doesn't look very promising for us today. Well, you know, everybody needs a little liquid sunshine in their life every once in a while. Tell me a little bit about, let's talk about kite fishing for a minute, because I am so intrigued with kite fishing, Mike. Can kite fishing be done from shore? I know this is probably a silly question, but I don't know. I've never seen anybody do it, so.
It's not a silly question. In fact, you know, there are so many fishermen all around the world that don't have access to boats, but they're in these great fertile waters. I mean, if you look at some of the YouTube videos, guys in Australia, New Zealand, they are staking out what looks like a surf fishing setup. But when the wind is blowing offshore, they'll use their kites to pull multiple baits out as far as they can, with these really large capacity, you know, fishing rods and reels. So the kite will take the baits, you know, way past the break, and they catch these epic fish. I mean, it's, you know, really, so with kite fishing, you know, it's flexible and I think the opportunities are endless. I'll give you another example. The swordfish bite has been great off of my area, Palm Beach, and, you know, Broward County in South Florida. So when we go sword fishing, which is just really by day, it's a really technical form of deep dropping. When the wind conditions, in most cases, are blowing out of the east, southeast, northeast, we'll send a kite off on the other side of the boat away from our sword rods. We put a live goggle eye or a pilchard out there, and you can't believe some of the bycatch that we get by flying a kite while we're dropping for swordfish. Wow. So that was fun. That's really kind of a fun little way to add some lines in your spread.
I want to ask you about the swordfish for a minute, because I have no experience at all in that whatsoever. And I have a vague idea what it is. Is it like down rigging?
Well, you can. That's one technique that guys do. See, historically, in these real heavy current areas like South Florida, where the Gulf Stream is pushing, you know, from 3 to 6 knots, or maybe sometimes more, to the north, you have to use a real heavy weight and some real technical tackle to get the bait down to the bottom in 1,500 to 2,000 feet deep. So they're using electric reels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as guys caught more and more fish over the years, they've started to experiment with how to catch these fish manually, but still deal with this heavy weight. So now, along your line of thought, the downrigger situation, some of the guys, I think, you know, Bouncer Smith came up with a really great technique to use the electric reel as a downrigger with the weight attached. A big heavy red clip, release clip, which is called the diesel clip. They'll set the tension on that clip to about 10 pounds. The weight being something in the 12 to 15 pound range. So 10 pounds of pressure on the fish end, he'll pull his bait right out of this release clip, which leaves you fighting the fish on a manual crank, traditional conventional reel.
I can't imagine that.
So
wow.
It's really awesome. So now you're direct to fish, and you hit the on switch of your electric reel, it sucks up the weight, and now you're fighting the fish direct to hook.
Wow.
IGFA legal, very, very cool.
I've only had one experience with an electric reel, and that was many, many years ago. A friend of mine used to do this thing called Hero or Zero. They would go out for a specific fish. If you didn't get the fish, you're a zero. If you got the fish, you were a hero. That particular day, we were going for Mako shark. It was down in the Keys. He had hired a commercial captain, a relatively large ship. I think it was about 53, maybe bigger in length. And we were so far offshore, I don't even know where in the world we were. But I do remember them mentioning something about the 409 rips or something like that. We went and we caught these amberjacks, 65, 70-pound amberjacks with these electric reels. That's the only experience I've ever had. When that fish hit the line, it was literally like a car, like you just hooked a car, and that was 65 pounds. And we pull these things right up, and then they'd chop them up, and we go Mako fishing. We'd use that for Mako fishing. Well, we did end up hooking a shark that day. Fought the shark for about 3 or 4 hours. They let me fight the shark. I don't know how big this thing, we never got to pull it up. I don't have any idea how big it was. But I want to tell you, I thought I was on the bottom. They were assuring me, no, you're not on the bottom. I'm pulling with everything I got. This thing is not moving. And the captain is telling me just, pull the rod back, reel when you come down. Pull the rod back, reel when you come. I couldn't pull the rod back. So I can't imagine fighting manually one of these swordfish. My goodness, how long does the fight take?
Well, we caught one this week, Tuesday or Wednesday, that was no more than 120 pounds.
Oh, wow.
You can see that one on 120 pounds, which is not a big one. And what happens is they kind of come to life when they hit that 500-foot range and up. I don't know if it's because they see the sunlight or if it's because the water is a little warmer or they hit the current. But whatever the reason is, they come to life. So this fish, from that point that we got him up to 500 feet, fought my buddy Eric for an hour and 15 minutes on a 50 Talica. So you can imagine, that was a 120-pound fish. There's 500, 600-pounders, 700-pounders out here where we fish. I can't imagine how long they would take. But
I'm sure that is one
4, 5, 6-hour fights.
Because they are deep-sounding fish, I'm sure it is one heck of a time to bring that thing up. You use muscles that you don't even know you had. The next day you feel them, boy. I'll tell you what. I remember that from that particular fishing trip that we went. I was so sore the next day. It's like somebody beat me up. And I only spent maybe 15 minutes pulling on this thing.
Mike, what size tackle are you using for your sword fishing?
Well, I've kind of, as I was telling you guys, kind of evolved out of this electric reel thing because I feel it's so much more sporting to go direct to fish. So we've now actually rigged up with 50 Talicas, the Shimano reels, which have a very high retrieve, and they're very light. So, when you're going to sit there and fight a fish for a long time, I think, having some good stout tackle that's kind of light to your body is great. And so 50 Talicas, I use 2 of them. We fish one on the buoy, which means it just typically the buoy is a big bobber, and it takes that bait that we'll set at 1,800 feet, some 300 yards from the boat. This way I can fish my second rod, or the primary rod, straight down, right below the boat. So we watch the one that's directly below the boat, and then have a buoy rod out there. Both are on 50 class tackle.
Wow.
Well, on 50s, okay.
The most important thing is just to have the line capacity that will keep you, in case the fish decides to sound. I think 3,000 feet of line, 1,000 yards, is very, very important. Keeping in mind, we could always get the boat straight up on top of the fish for the most part. So line capacity is important, and something that has a good, smooth 25 to 15 pounds of drag range. That's really all we fight these fish on. We'll try to set the hook with 25 pounds of pressure, and then we fight them with 15 pounds of pressure. And that's it.
Right.
We don't deviate from that.
Right.
And you're fighting fish as big as what? With that setting, what's the largest fish that you've caught?
Well, I've caught, in my boat, the biggest I've ever caught in 10 years is 350 pounds.
Using those settings?
I've been using those settings, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, you're not, you're doing this with stand-up gear. So, in other words, we put the harness on, you got your lumbar support, you hook it into the reel, and then everything is about just finessing these fish up. And when they get to that 500-foot zone and they get active, really now fighting them like you would a real big game fish.
That's amazing.
And between 15 pounds of pressure, a good angler and good boat handling, you can pretty much, keep these fish in control. You just got to be patient.
Wow. So are you planning on going out anytime soon? I know we've got this bit of nasty weather going on right now, unpleasant weather, but I think this is going to be over in a couple of days. You got something coming up this week?
Yeah, weather permitting, I got a few guys, brothers actually, that do an annual trip, coming down to South Florida. They come out of Chicago, so we're planning on doing some of this then. We will actually swordfish at our sword grounds and then fly the kites with live bait and see if we can get some of these big mahi that might be lingering. There could be a second push. It's so early in the season for the mahi to be up in St. Augustine. Mm-hmm. I think that we might see another push that's coming. So you never know.
Wow. Well, Mike, before we go, let me give you an opportunity. How do people reach you if they want to get more information about what it is that you do?
Well, thanks for that. My website is kitefishing.com. Real simple. You get all my information from there. My Facebook page is kitefishingexperts.com, or Kitefishing Experts is the Facebook page. And those are the easiest ways to reach me. All my contact is there.
I greatly appreciate it, Mike. You know, I'm always amazed at what's available through kites, and I want to hook up with you sometime. Pun. I want to hook up with you sometime and meet you, and also get hands-on kind of thing with these, so I have a better idea what these are and what they're capable of. You're always so informative, and it's greatly appreciated. I wish you a wonderful day, regardless of the weather. I hope you enjoy the day, and a happy Mother's Day to those of you who may be related to you. We'll be right back. We got a quick break to take. Don't go away. It's the Fish Florida Show this morning with Riskala and Captain Hook.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit
ignition. And then
nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Adkins.
I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace. I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. It calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala, and my special co-host this morning is Captain Hook. Thank you for stepping in, Captain Hook. Greatly appreciate it, sir.
No problem. Doing a little double duty here, but happy to do it.
Yeah, I am so grateful for you. You're always there to cover my back, and that's greatly appreciated. Today, being Mother's Day, just a quick announcement or a note, if you will. Something that I wrote for my mom. My mom hasn't been on this earth for quite some time, but as I grew older, I recognized all the sacrifices that both my parents made. And well, since it was Mother's Day, I wrote this. So I posted this for Mom's Day. Today, all across America, mothers will be honored, celebrated, and adored. When God created moms, he knew exactly what to do. The love of a mother to her child reflects the love of God to his children. The birthing of a child reflects the creation of man. The bond between a mother and her child reflects the testaments God has given to his children. The protection that a mother provides reflects God's protection for us. The willingness of a mother to fight her child's battles reflects God's promise to stand for us and fight our spiritual battles. Therefore, I submit to you that moms reflect God. Could there be anything more beautiful? I thank you, Mom. It seems like such a shallow expression for such a deep commitment that you made for me. You're loved greatly, and you're missed even more. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, a little rough to get there, but anyway, let's move on. I believe we have Andy with Dockside Service with us this morning. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Captain Hook, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers listening and all the mothers that have passed, and we miss you, the ones that have passed. We miss them, and everybody appreciated everything that they've done.
She was my heroine. You know, that's some people, I use that word and they kind of look at me funny. It is a real word. Heroine, not the drug. There was a hero and then the female version is a heroine, but nobody uses that anymore. They refer to females as heroes as well. She was the heroine in my life, over and over. My dad passed away before her, and she stepped up to the plate for me for many times. I'm forever grateful for her. And mothers like her who sacrifice, even at the cost of their own well-being, they sacrifice for their children. It's something that has forever embedded in me. Anyway, a little bit about what you guys do over there, because I find it quite interesting. When I found out about you guys, I didn't know there was even such a thing as this. I have a vessel sitting in my dock, and I don't really feel like going all the way to the marina, wherever that might be, and having to pay the marina prices. I didn't know that, hey, there's somebody like Andy out there that can do what? What can you do, Andy?
Yeah, we deliver boat fuel, Rec 90, and dyed diesel. We sell both, but we bring it right to your house, bring the truck up to the house, run the hose out to the boat, fuel you up, no wasting time going to the marina, no waiting in marina lines, and as you said, for the most part, we are cheaper than marinas. It's a great service. We get to you as quick as we can. Mostly we can get you the same day, but not always. We ask people to give us at least 24 hours notice. You usually have a clue when you need fuel, but give us a call. We'll come out. We'll fuel you up. No waiting for you. You just jump in the boat and you go. It's a very convenient service. Makes it much easier to go boating, and you save a lot of time.
And what's Kyle doing? Is he sleeping?
Kyle is sleeping tonight. We kind of take turns. He's young, and he does enjoy a Saturday night. So when he's going to go out on Saturday night, that's when I'm calling in. And when he's not out on Saturday night, those are the days that he calls in. So, that's kind of how that works. He's still enjoying life.
Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy about the two of you, this is a family company, a locally owned family business. I mean, it has all the pluses. Friends, it has all the pluses. When, I've shared this with people before, maybe it's worth sharing again. When you spend $1 with a local company, a locally owned company, about 63 cents of that dollar, between all the taxes that are paid and whatever revenues that come out, about 63 cents of that stays in the local area. When you spend money with one of these global corporations, that number drops down to the low 40s. So there's many reasons. We talk about how great America is. Well, America originally was made great on the back of small, locally owned businesses. So whenever you can deal with the small, locally owned businesses versus a large business, my preference, I always go with the smaller guys. They're going to treat you like family because you are literally family to them because they know each one of their customers. They're not out there for numbers. They don't have hundreds of thousands of clientele. Think about this. When you call for help with your electric bill, or you call for help with your cable bill, or you call for help with your cell phone bill, how long do you sit on the phone? How much you want to bet if you call for help with a small, locally owned business, you get your answer almost immediately? There's a how much is that worth to you? And with this particular example, it's even more competitive than it is going to the bigger guys. So tell me a little bit about fishing. What's going on down there in the Keys?
Well, let's see. I think I heard you talking about dolphin a little bit earlier. The dolphin definitely seemed to be moving in. The bigger dolphin are being caught up and down the Keys. Of course, the next couple of days, I don't know how much dolphin fish will be caught, but the biggest dolphin we've heard, one of our customers down in Lower Matecumbe caught a 41-pound dolphin the other day. So that was a good sized fish.
That's the biggest one I've ever caught, the biggest fish I've ever caught, period, 42. And it was a dolphin off of Isla Mirada, off of Alligator Light down there, Alligator Rock Light. Alligator Rock Lighthouse.
Light. Yeah. and I believe actually that's about where this one was caught, off of Alligator Reef also.
Yeah, it's
the bigger dolphin are definitely moving in. So everybody's excited about that. It's nice and early in the dolphin season for such big ones to be caught. And, of course, we're just getting into tournament season, so that's even better for the tournaments.
Mm-hmm. Andy, what's the weather like down there?
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's not raining yet, but overcast.
Right.
The forecast is for rain for today and tomorrow, so I don't think there'll be a whole lot of boating going on or fishing.
Yeah.
At this point, it looks like we are off for the day, which is Mother's Day. That was kind of our plan anyway, so we're thankful that we're off, but it doesn't look like there'll be a lot of boating going on. The skies are black. It's not raining yet, but the rain is coming, is what they're telling us. And mostly the day is going to be not so great, and probably tomorrow also is what they're calling for. But the fish are out there. As soon as we get a break in the weather, like I said, dolphin are definitely running. The reef bite seems to be pretty good, and tarpon are under every bridge.
Wow.
We've talked to a couple of bigger boat fishermen who didn't go offshore, who actually were out tarpon fishing the last week, and they said that there's definitely tarpon being caught, good sized tarpon, which are always fun to catch. Even though they're catch and release, they're a lot of fun to catch.
Right. I heard down in Bahia Honda area, the tarpon are real thick down there.
Yeah, we were down in Key Colony Beach fueling up a boat yesterday, and the guy that we were fueling, the customer we were fueling, had actually hooked into 2 tarpon. He had a couple of newer fishermen on board. He was very excited to put them into tarpon because they're quite acrobatic for the most part when they get on the line.
Oh yeah. Well, you kind of beat me to the next question because I was going to ask you if you had any information regarding fishing off of shore, like inshore, under the bridges and off of the bridges. And
yeah, our backcountry reports are kind of funny because we don't really fuel a whole lot of the smaller boats. So sometimes we get backcountry. This is but like I said, we've heard of the Tarpon just because we've had some of our customers going there. But we don't really fuel very many smaller boats. Some people that we fuel do have backcountry boats, so we will occasionally get a report, but we don't get as many. We get reef reports pretty regular. We get offshore reports because that's the bulk of the boats we do fueling with. But I'll tell you what, when we ran down to Marathon yesterday, every bridge had smaller boats anchored under the bridges, tarpon fishing. I mean, there must have been 25 or 30 boats anchored along the different bridges as we went south. It was pretty impressive.
Andy, where are you right now? Are you in Miami?
No, we're based in Key Largo.
Okay, because I'm looking at the radar, and you're just covered with thunderstorms.
Yeah, it's like I said, where I am right now, it's not raining, but the sky is black. There's a little bit of sun shining through, or at least brightness. I can't say it's sun, but the sky everywhere, every direction you look is just dark.
Yeah.
And, I looked at the radar before we came on, and there's a big blob of it coming more.
Yeah,
so
now,
it looks like.
Yeah, I zoomed in. It's a little west of you at this point. It's moving a little west of you. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, that is some serious weather there. So I doubt anybody's going to be out in boats with that stuff going on. But you know what? We need it. It's part of living here. We expect it, and we all know that it changes rapidly. You know, there are days when you think it's the end of the world, and 20 minutes later, the sun is out shining. So it does change rapidly. It doesn't mean that we can't have something to find ourselves to have some fun today. There's a wide variety of things. You know, under the bridges, I remember as a kid when it would be raining. That was one of my favorite times because we couldn't go out and play in the fields and do the other stuff that we did and get in trouble that way. So we grabbed the fishing rod, we go up under the bridges and fish under the bridges while it was raining.
Yeah, there's a lot of fish. The fish move under the bridges in the Keys here with the current whipping through there. There's fish there almost all the time. It's a great thing to do, and if you're in a boat, you know, it's a lot of times a shorter trip. You're not going too far from shore, so if the weather turns bad, you can run back to a safe harbor.
Yeah.
And then when you get back to the harbor, give us a call. We'll come and fuel you up again.
And if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have up to 200 feet, right?
Yeah, we have 200 feet of line. We got to get the boat within 200, or the truck within 200 feet of your boat. Most of the time, we don't even enter the property. We pull off to the right of way on the side of the road and run the hose. Most lots are 75 to 80 feet. So we usually have plenty of hose to get to most lots. There are some lots that are extended or people that live, you know, where they have a dock where it extends out into the water. Some boats, but for the most part, we can get to almost every house. And, we're quick, we're reliable, we show up when we say we do. We don't block hours and hours of your day. We try and give anywhere from a 30-minute to a 1-hour window of when we're going to be there, and we really try to keep it to that in our scheduling. And if we're not going to make it on time, we're going to give you a call and tell you when we're going to be there. We really do. Customer service is a big part of our business.
I think you have some customers, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have some customers that they just call you and you go out and take care of it for them.
Yeah, a lot of people call us, and as long as we can get to them, a lot of times we can get them to them within hours. You know, we service from Key Largo to Key West. So on the days that we run the truck to Key West, and we run the truck down there once or twice a week, depending on what requirements there are. If the truck's in Key West, we're not necessarily going to be able to get you so quickly in Key Largo or vice versa. But most of the time, we're getting to people pretty quickly, and very frequently the same day they call us.
Andy, 40-gallon minimum, is that what it is?
50-gallon minimum.
50-gallon? Okay.
Yeah.
A 50-gallon minimum, and if I have a couple of skiffs sitting in the back and they each take 25 apiece, you do that as well? Yep. Same deal?
Happily. Yep. Absolutely. We're just trying to be as efficient as we can. We've made the limit, the lower, you know, our minimum as low as we can make it to make it worthwhile to come out, because there are some costs in operating the truck and everything. So we are the lowest limit in the Keys. You for 50 gallons, there's nobody else that's going to even come out to you. Most of them are significantly higher than that. Yeah. If we could fill up 2 boats, we don't really care if we're coming out, but you know, there has to be some minimum that makes it worthwhile for us to come. And 50 gallons is something that we can get. A lot of people that couldn't get fuel delivered in the past, So it's increased our customer base tremendously by doing that.
All right, my friend. God bless you. Thank you for calling in. Real quickly, if you would, if people want to reach you.
Yep, give us a call, 305-923-6509. You can call or text, or you can go to our website, www.dockside-fuel.com. You can make an appointment right through the website. Look at our website, see what we can do for you, and give us a call. We'd love to put fuel in your boat.
Thank you, Andy. God bless. We're up against the break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Hey, this is Captain Hook for Statewide Pest Control Services. They've been serving the west coast of Florida since 1987. Statewide does it all. Pest control, termites, lawns, mosquitoes, tent fumigations, etc. This announcement is from their mold division. Since Hurricane Charlie in 2004, all their personnel are certified in mold and moisture control. Their two-step services are guaranteed to get you back in your home quicker and in most cases paid by your insurance company. Give them a call at 877-488-7378. That's Statewide Pest Control Services for all your pests and mold control needs, serving Florida from Pasco to Lee counties. Statewide Pest Control Services, 877-488-7378. 877-488-7378. That's 877-488-7378. You're listening to WDBFradio.com, a tune-in station.
I grab my
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is the Fish Florida Show this morning with Riscala and the one and only Captain Hook. Good morning. Good wet morning, Captain Hook.
Good morning. Good morning. The rain hasn't started yet here, but I have a feeling after looking at the radar, it's not long.
Yeah, I'm looking at the radar here, and we're covered. My whole area is now covered. I have my house faces north and south, so my windows are east and west, and the windows in the studio as well, east and west. And to the east, I see it's turning black. To the west, it's still a little light, so I can tell it's coming in from the east and moving over us to the west. And it looks almost like a band. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's pretty large. It's a great big, it's starting to get some circulation to it, and it looks like the center of circulation is just off of Naples right now. So it's starting to wind up just a little bit, and we might be in for some weather for the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, that's all right. We can always save it up, and remember, today being Mommy's Day is you don't need to go fishing anyway. You need to spend some time with Mommy, whoever that Mommy might be, whether that Mommy is your wife, your girlfriend, your better half, as they refer to. Or your mom, or your grandmom, or just somebody who you think of as a mom. Today's a good day to do that because it doesn't look very promising for going out in a boat anyway. I wanted to hear a little bit about what was going on in the backwater, so I had asked Mike Lindell to come on. Mike is with I think it's called he'll correct me, but I think it's called King of the Glades. It's a tournament that he helps sponsor and is involved with. And let me bring him on now. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for taking time to call in, my friend.
Oh, Mike is not with us yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Mike was on.
Nope.
Okay. I apologize. I'll send him a note real quick. He should be on by now. My mistake. Well, I was wanting to hear about what was going on. Mike does the King of the Glades tournaments. They are a wide variety of tournaments that are primarily held, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in freshwater. And all around the backwaters of the state. And it is, local to, oh my goodness, well, maybe not local, but it runs from, Lake Okeechobee on down into, the Everglades Park down there.
Right. Right. Holiday Park is where they had one tournament just recently.
So any word on what's going on freshwater wise?
I am not the guy to ask for that because I'm over here every time I go fishing. I'm not a big freshwater guy because the saltwater seems to be a little bit more action than the freshwater, but I've just never had great luck. I've caught a few bass in my day, but but over here, there's, if you move over toward the center of the state a little bit, there's 10 tons of lakes that you can go to. And, there's a nice one down here, Lake McGorry. There's a couple nice freshwater lakes, Tarpon Lake, where I just understand that somebody caught a 19-pound bass out of there just recently.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's a monster.
I had one phenomenal experience in freshwater, and it was only because I was fishing literally in protected waters. It was many, many years ago. I met up with one of these rangers that protected the parks back there, and I did him a big favor. And he said, "Do you like to go freshwater fishing?" I said, "Do you like to go fishing?" I said, "I love fishing." He said, "What about freshwater?" I said, "I've never had very good success. It's not very appealing to me." And he says, "Well, I'm going to take you somewhere where you won't be able to you can keep one of everything of all the fish you catch. You can keep one, but I promise you'll catch a bunch of fish." So he took me into a place called Shark Valley. Which is a protected area. You're not allowed to fish there. Only the rangers are allowed to fish there. And they're permitted one fish, I don't know, one fish per week. This was many years ago. I don't know if it's changed or not. But when we were back there, my goodness, I saw deer. I saw lots of gators everywhere. We saw hog. We saw everything you can imagine because it is a protected area in the wild and it's not affected, with regard to hunting and fishing and stuff like that.
Now, where is this at? Where's this park at?
It's called Shark Valley. And it's off of, State Road 41, on the bend. There's a bend there on
the Tamiami Trail.
On the Tamiami Trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yep. And I am not kidding you when I tell you we were using rubber worms. He said, just bring rubber. I said, you want me to bring live worms? He goes, no, bring rubber worms. He said you could actually throw the hook in if it was shiny enough, they'd hit the hook. And he wasn't kidding. Most of the time, the fish was hooked the second that worm hit the water, the fish nailed. There was no lapse. I've never ever had a fishing trip like that. But again, this is in protected waters. Now, I have another friend of mine whose name is Mike as well, who does a lot of freshwater fishing. He has the skill. He'll take you out. He knows exactly where to go, and what to fish and what kind of lure to fish. And he'll bring up, he has hundreds and hundreds of pictures of, these large bass that he catches out there. Rarely does he ever come back empty-handed in the sense that he doesn't keep any of the fish. He always releases, but empty-handed in the sense that he didn't catch anything.
You have days like that. That's why they call it fishing. But even a bad day at fishing beats a day at work. So we can.
Oh, you're a kid. There's nothing. The relaxation and see what I get out of it. I get relaxation out of it. I get that time that you get to kind of just think about things. Especially like I remember the days when we'd be pulling, we'd be trolling, and primarily for dolphin. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but it gets kind of boring after and you hear the engine running and you're hearing the waves. And,
oh yeah, you start
and so it gets kind of boring after a while. And so I would find things to think about. Okay, I want to think about this while we're pulling. I want to consider this or consider that, because the moment that they hit, it changes. It's literally like jumping from one side of the fence to the other. It goes from being calm and boring to all just breaking loose. There were many times when I would come back. The inside of my boat was white. I guess a lot of boats are white on the inside. I come back, it was red. Looked like we were in a war.
Oh yeah, that's a good day of fishing.
had a lot of days like that, and it was an enjoyable time. I truly believe when I had my boat that if you're going to have a boat, this is just a personal belief of mine. Many of my friends had boats that would just sit and rot, and no, I'm not going to go. That's all right. I'd take mine out every opportunity I had, whether it was shrimping at night. The shrimping thing got kind of crazy down in Miami in Biscayne Bay. It was almost like a parking lot for a while there.
Oh, I know.
Whether it was shrimping at night or whether it was taking it down to Isla Mirada. That was one of my favorite places, was taking it down to Isla Mirada, a place called Papa Joe's across the street from Bud Mary's. And he had a ramp there we'd put in and just head right out to the lighthouse, and that would be our reference point, where we would go from that point forward. Always a good trip down there.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Makes me want to go. The couple things you were mentioning before was just getting out and going fishing. I like the whole thing. I take some Vietnam vets out for about.
Yeah, I so greatly appreciate you for doing that.
I try to get them out once a week. You know what I mean? And we had some friends of theirs that came down from Boston, and but when we go out and set up on the beach or whatever, it's like setting up a base camp. And we have a canopy out there, and we have coolers, and we have a barbecue, and we make a day out of it. And whether you catch fish or not, it's fun just to get out there, and we're out there wading out and just fishing and having a good time, a little bit of fellowship with your friends, and everybody seems to really enjoy it. And of course you catch fish too. So
if you think about it, we spend I'm just, as you're talking, I'm thinking, I would easily say 70% of the time for most of us is spent indoors. Most of us spend at least 40 hours of every week at some kind of a job, and then there's a small intermission between that and coming home. Then we're in home, and how long do we spend at home? We don't really take advantage of the options that we have available here in South Florida. I mean, today is, if you want to get shocked, today would be, but we really don't. I think a lot of us don't. I know me personally. We have the options of going out and enjoying nature, enjoying the beach. We're covered by three sides of this state. It's covered by ocean.
And there's so
if
much
you're somebody
to do.
who doesn't like the water, you're in the wrong place.
Right. And there's so much to do, and they wonder why the sports teams don't do so well in Florida. It's because, there's just so many other activities to do. It's not like we're being snowed in and we can't do anything except, go to a Green Bay Packer game. There's just so much to do in Florida,
Yeah. Whether it's enjoying the water in one way or another, whether that's boating, snorkeling, whatever that might be, or just going out and enjoying the outdoors, because we have some of the nicest places to go. I know Tampa has some really amazing parks. I have a cousin that lives in Tampa, and I go visit every once in a while. I am shocked at some of these parks that they have are just take my breath away. And we have some parks like that as well here in Palm Beach County as well. I go by the parks a lot of times. There's not a lot of people in there. And not like when I was growing up, my dad would take us to the beach. Oh my gosh. You would have to fight. If you didn't get there early, you'd have to fight for a spot to sit down on the beach. The parks, not so much. Like I said, we don't take advantage of some of the stuff that we have here. And, when we can, I mean, that's why I'm here. I lived all of my life here because I like the weather. If I'm in the cold for a brief period of time, I love it, but I can't live in the cold. I was in the Air Force. They stationed me in Denver, Colorado. I was there for 6 months. The first month I was, so. By the time 6 months went by, I was ready to step into an oven. Please, somebody just let me thaw out. I just could not thaw. I was always cold. I could never warm up. So I've got Florida blood in me. And that's one of the reasons I'm here, because I enjoy this weather. There's so many things that we could do out here. It's a wide variety of opportunities. While I'm thinking about it, in order for you to be able to enjoy that and know what's going on weather-wise, download the app. It's the Fish Florida app. You find it at most of these stores. It's free. And it will give you, it's a vital tool, whether you're going to go fishing, whether you're kayaking, snorkeling, whatever that might be. You're just going to go out for a run. You know, we have some of our media partners, Maria Diaz. She's a runner. I mean, literally a runner. She runs in these triathlons. She's an amazing lady. I'm lucky if I can take a cinder block, set it in my backyard, and run around it and say, yeah, I ran around a block. She runs, I don't know how many miles. My goodness. So even if you're going to go out and do something like that, this is a tool that you can have in your hand. It tells you what the weather's going to be, and it gives you tides. It gives you a whole wide variety of information that's useful for a wide variety of activities out there. It's the Fish Florida app, free download, won't cost you anything, and I promise you, all the people that I've asked to download it have always told me, you know what, I really like this app. It's just pretty cool, for free. Anything else going on over there, Captain Hook?
Not really over here. Today they're having a big air show over at MacDill Air Force Base, and I have a feeling the high show is going to get canceled, and the Blue Angels are over here, and I have a feeling they're going to be staying real low today.
Yeah, I was stationed at MacDill. They call it TDY, temporary duty. I went to MacDill several times. Our jets, I was at Panama City, which was Tyndall Air Base. Our jets at the time were, come on, mind, I think they were F-104s. I think we had some 14s, but I think that most of them were 104s or 106s, if I remember right. And they would do this thing called William Tell. This is where I never, in my ignorance, I never realized that our government works with other governments. I was young, I was 18, 19 years old. Our government works with other governments' military to do a wide variety of things. And we worked with the Saudi government, we worked with the Canadian government, we worked with, of course, the UK, and a couple of other ones. And they would bring the best of the best of their pilots in. And now, mind you, this is back in the 70s, so you can just have an idea of how advanced technology is with the government versus what they released to us. Back in the 70s, we had aircraft that were called drones, not like what you see today. These were jet aircraft that were computer controlled from the ground. There was nobody on these things, and they would be shot up into the air, and they would be controlled from the ground, and jets would chase these things, and they would shoot lasers at these things. And back in the 70s, they would shoot lasers at these things, and depending upon where the laser hit, what sensor it hit on the drone, they would get points for this. And sometimes if they got a direct hit, the drone would come directly down and they go retrieve that drone. We would do this with MacDill Air Base, we did it with Eglin Air Base, and we did it at Tyndall Air Base. And some of the most phenomenal air shows that you could ever see in your life, because these guys to them, this is real. This is as real as it gets. They're preparing for a real dogfight up in the air. So they're doing everything that they can. They're taking every precaution, but they're doing wild acrobats. So when you mentioned MacDill and an air show, phenomenal stuff going on there.
And but pretty much MacDill now is a tanker base for the North Atlantic. And so all the airplanes that are going back and forth across and overseas, they get their refuel from MacDill Air Force Base over to the North Atlantic.
I don't remember how big their runway is. Do you see the big ones, the big planes come in, like the C-5A?
Yeah, no, they're not. Very rarely do you see the C-5s come in, but the C-17s and the KC-135s and C-130s all day long.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that brings back some memories. When you said MacDill, that sure popped up some memories in my mind. All right, well, I can see we're up against the break, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't go away. We will be right back. It's the Fish Florida Show this morning with Riscala and Captain Hook.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Hi folks, I'm Roger from Rogers Gotcha Motoring. If you need a local auto repair shop, Rogers Gotcha Motoring will take care of all of your automotive repair needs. If you need something as simple as an oil change or as complex as an engine overhaul, I have the latest in technology and the knowledge to get the job done right. We've been servicing Pinellas County since 1994 and are conveniently located at 3700 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you need service, call now at 727-327-1830 or visit my website at www.rogersgotchamotoring.com or like my Facebook page at Rogers Gotcha Motoring for a complete list of all of our services. So come on over to Rogers, that's me, and get your car service today. And don't forget to shop and support local business. Call now to book your appointment at 727-327-1830. That's 727-327-1830, or swing on by.
Que Pasa Mexican Cantina is where friends and neighbors come to connect, share, and celebrate one another in a festive, casual atmosphere. Offering rich, robust flavors of authentic Mexican cuisine, we use only the freshest, finest ingredients. We chop and dice, season and blend, and then cook everything we serve to perfection. One thing that makes Mexican food even better is one of our delicious Best of the Bay margaritas. Our signature series of margarita flavors range from our sweet and fruity mango and strawberry to our hot and juicy jalapeno margarita. Having a busy meeting or getting together and looking for Mexican food? Try our Fast Fax form. It's an easy, fast way to order your favorite Mexican food. We have special platters and layouts for any occasion. The form is super easy to fill out, fax, email, or just call it in. Whether it's here in the restaurant, in your home or office, at Que Pasa we celebrate bringing people together. Que Pasa Mexican Cantina, 10478 Roosevelt Boulevard North Street in the Gateway Shopping Center, 727-330-3663 in St. Petersburg. It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is one of those wonderful days where you just kind of want to hide from the rain. We've gotten hit a couple of times now with some bands coming through, and it looks like it's going to be one of those days where we're just going to get liquid sunshine, which is, I don't mind that every once in a while. That's not a problem for me. Anyway, today we have with us the one and only Captain Hook. Thank you for stepping in, Captain Hook. I'd greatly appreciate to have you there as my co-host.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Anytime.
And one of the things that I wanted to do, take a few minutes to discuss some of the things that are happening with the Fish Florida Show and the network. And I wanted Victoria to come on, Victoria Brinkley, without whom none of this would be happening. Victoria is the founder and the creator of the Fish Florida app. And from the Fish Florida app, we have developed the Fish Florida Show. And from the Fish Florida Show, Victoria's going to share with us how we are expanding on this new network. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, and happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Happy Mommy's Day to you, my dear.
Thank you.
So I wanted to kind of mention to the listeners that this morning we have some information regarding a network that is going to be expanding. The Fish Florida Show right now is on 2. And we may be looking at one more, which is a relatively large possibility. So let's kind of talk about that for a minute. What is this new network? What is it about? How does it work?
Well, you were really close to me coming over there this morning and shooting the radio show live. And we were going to syndicate that across some channels because with the channel that we have, with all of the channels that we have a mobile app. And you can find the mobile app in the App Store, and you can download it. And I mean, all of the channels. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused this morning. A little bit. My daughter's been really super sick.
Yeah.
So we were up all night. But what I was trying to say is, with, for example, I-95, which is one of the TV channels that we've worked out a very nice partnership with. They are going to be providing us with the mobile app that we can shoot any show that we want to live. So all of the shopping shows can be shot live. The Fish Florida radio show can be shot live. And Steve knows about this. He's very technical. Back when Howard Stern used to be on the radio, he would do the same thing. He would shoot his radio show live so you could see it on television. So that's exactly what we're going to do with the Fish Florida Show. And I guess Steve mentioned that we could do that with 3 or 4 other shows. So we're really excited about that. In fact, I was going to try and do that this Sunday. I was going to come over there and get it set up for you, but we just had some setbacks with Stephanie.
I know. And while we're taking a minute here to talk about Stephanie, those of you who are of the belief that prayer helps, please pray for Stephanie. She is in desperate need of prayer. She's had some serious complications, had a slight progression forward, and then there was a setback last night. That's why Victoria's so tired today. A slight setback last night. She woke up with a relatively high fever this morning. So those of you who could help us with prayer, it's greatly appreciated. I 100% believe that prayer makes all the difference in the world.
All the kids here in the hospital, I mean, there's, we're at St. Mary's and pediatric hospital, and there's a lot of sick children in the hospital. So, I mean, every kid in here needs prayers. And we're really grateful to the staff here, and they do a great job. She's got several specialists, working with her. We're probably going to be meeting with a rheumatologist specialist possibly in the next couple of days to see what their thoughts are on it, because we can't seem to figure out what's going on.
Wow. Well,
anyhow, so back to what we're doing. So we're putting together basically a network of, several channels. How this got started is all year long I've been working on a shopping channel. And then everything just started coming together with other channels and signing agreements and partnerships with other networks out there. And so our partners in Maryland with I-95 TV have partnered together, and we are going to build a network that all of the TV channels will go into. So somewhat, my vision is like Comcast or Xfinity, something like that. So we're going to, be probably launching that here very, very shortly.
So we will be exposed to a whole new network. The bottom line for me is we will be exposed to a whole new network, and it'll be relatively. You'll have
about 100 million households that you'll touch
that we're
several
exposed
platforms.
To. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's very exciting. That is very, very exciting.
Because there's a lot of sponsors out there that want to be involved in something like this and that kind of a reach. Mm-hmm. So I think that will, I think a lot of people will be excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Now you had the opportunity. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't feeling well, and I couldn't make it. But you had the opportunity to meet with a very amazing man about a week ago, Matt Price, and I believe you had dinner with him.
Yeah, he is amazing. I'll tell you, just to look be able to sit across the table from him after all this time. Matt's putting together a fantastic fishing show. He fishes all around the world. His producer of a show is a guy that produced the Steve Irwin show. Remember Steve Irwin?
Yep.
Yeah. And also the producer of Crocodile Dundee. So those producers are going to be working on his show. It's going to be fantastic. We're really excited.
And did you take
we should be seeing, pardon me.
Go ahead.
We should be seeing that show come in probably the beginning of June, he mentioned.
Did you fish with him?
I didn't get a chance to. We've been really busy here, and I did spend some time in Maryland a couple of weeks ago. So I've had a busy schedule.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to do that.
You got a lot on your plate, I know. But I was just curious if you went fishing with him. I know he was here in South Florida for a brief period of time, and then he was on his way up, and you mentioned that he might come over and do some fishing off the dock. I was wondering if he did that.
We were going to that night. I guess one of the guys they were fishing with was kind of worn out, but they were going to come over and fish right off the dock where I live, which is great because we're just right across from the inlet where we live.
Yeah.
And you can catch anything. I mean, there's bull sharks out there, big, huge sharks that I've seen right by our dock.
You talk about somebody.
Everything's out there.
When you talk about somebody who lives a dream, you're talking about Matt Price. If you don't know who Matt Price is, and I, in my ignorance, I really didn't know a lot about him. I heard the name. I went and looked him up. He is an amazing guy. He's living the dream. He wanted to be able to fish to make a living, and that's what he's doing. It's amazing. It really is. You just have to read up a little bit on him. I could spend 2 hours on the guy with all the stuff all the records he's broken and records he's set. It really is amazing. All right. So anything else? Go ahead.
He's won so many world records. It's incredible. I know he's looking for sponsors for his show, his TV show as well. So everybody can keep that in mind, but he's amazing.
Any other news on the media group front?
On the media group, we have gotten some new media partners. I'm probably wrapping that piece of it up a little bit because we are going to be working on, between all of our media partners, Riscala, we have thousands of products.
Wow.
And so now, we're going to be gearing up to get all of our media partners to get a shopping show for their product. In addition to that, it's going to be backed up by an Amazon-type website to back up the shopping shows. So it's going to be pretty amazing for all of the media partners to have that opportunity.
Well, it certainly is exciting, and I'm very excited to hear about this. The network now is joining this new network where we're going to be exposed to millions and millions of people. That it really is.
It's really true. Yeah.
That really is exciting. That's great. Well, anything else you want to mention? I've got a couple of more minutes.
Just that I'm very impressed with the work that you and Captain Hook do. All of the shows on WDBF are fantastic. Sergeant Frank's show is really wonderful. But Riscala, you really knocked it out of the park. Very impressed with what you've done with the Fish Florida show.
Thank you.
Of the guests, I love hearing Robert Warner on, every week. And Kyle and
he's always so full of information. I enjoy having him on. He's always so informative about so many different things.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I enjoy having him come back over and over.
And just all the guests in Dockside Fuel. I love hearing about what's going on in Key West because everybody loves to fish in Key West and the work that Kyle does and Andy does to deliver fuel. That's a great convenience, So.
Yep. It's down where he's at in Key Largo. It's still a little bit going on. Most of the storms have moved to the west of them, but unfortunately for us, we have storms out to the east that are moving to the west, and I probably within the next several hours it's going to get very wet out here where we're at. So anyway,
I just want to say one more thing.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure.
I just want to say how grateful I am for everybody's involvement and participation and support. And, you know, we really appreciate our media partners, and we're just so excited to be able to bring these shopping shows and the network and our partners with I-95 TV and live online services. And we feel very blessed, and we're very grateful.
Well, thank you. And I feel blessed as well, my friend. So thank you. Thank you for the effort, and thank you for all the work that you do behind the scenes. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you do behind the scenes that doesn't get mentioned. And, but I thank you for that. And I also wish you a very special Mommy's Day. I know that, your little one's still in the hospital, and my prayers go out to you and her.
Absolutely.
Well, she, at midnight, she was wide awake. She gave me some flowers, and she played some songs on YouTube, like, you know, mom songs. And she's just so thoughtful and sweet. And, you know, after her being so sick like that, and for her to be thoughtful, she waited till midnight, and she wished me a happy Mother's Day.
Wow.
That's very special.
And
again, our prayers go out for you.
Guys.
Our prayers go out for you and Stephanie and all of us here at WDBF Radio. Right with you.
I really appreciate everything you guys do, and I'm so happy, you know, to be a part, you know, for everyone to be a part of this with me. So.
Well, the feeling is mutual. You have yourself a great day. Get some rest.
Yeah. Poor thing wore out, man.
Big hugs to you guys. And again, I just can't say how grateful I am. So.
God bless you, my dear. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Take care.
That's
Bye-bye.
Victoria Brinkley. Victoria Brinkley is with the Fish Florida Media Group. You can easily find her online. It's the Fish Florida Media Group. And without Victoria, we wouldn't have the Fish Florida show. And I am forever grateful. And of course, she's a mom, and a blessed Mommy's Day for her. She's having a really full plate with a lot of weight on it, with her little one being in the hospital. And it's a scary thing. I remember when one of mine went to the hospital and they couldn't figure out what was going on. You know, as parents, you want to do everything you can to protect your child. And when they tell you, well, we're still working on it, it's, you know, it wears on you. It really does. You want to get to the bottom of it. You want to figure out what it is and move forward and get it healed and, get your child back. So anyway, we've got a couple of more minutes here, Captain Hook, before we on to the break.
Well, you know, one thing I was going to mention, and, you know, I've been thinking about is like, we're going to take this to video, and I guess we're going to be simulcasting via TV and the radio station at the same time. That means we're going to have to start dressing in the morning.
Actually, believe it or not, I am wearing a Fish Florida t-shirt. I usually wear some kind of Fish Florida something. I have a dress shirt and t-shirt, so I'm usually wearing one of the two. But I don't know what else I'm wearing.
Well, that'll be
I'm going to be fully dressed. Oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what I'm wearing, so. Well, we can go ahead and take our break a little bit early if you want to.
Yeah.
And
okay, let's go ahead and do that. We'll take a break, and then we'll be back, and I hope to have another guest with me when we come back.
You're listening to the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riskella. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip. You can find your tide reports, buoy reports, get a fishing license, and even find someone to go fishing with. Plus great products and services from all our media partners. And oh yeah, you can get the Fish Florida Show on the app. Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern here on the WDBF radio networks. So download the Fish Florida mobile app to plan your boating, fishing, or hunting trip and tune in.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event!
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket. Hit ignition. And then
Nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
It ripped my arm off. It broke my right femur.
I took such a hard blow to the head that my retina was torn apart.
Say a prayer for peace.
I'm Trace Adkins. I want to tell you about these true American heroes and how you can show your thanks by helping them through Wounded Warrior Project.
They've reached out to us as a family, and they never forgot about us.
The job of helping thousands of our wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Many of these service members suffer traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress disorder.
They helped me basically put my life back together.
If it wasn't for Wounded Warrior Project, I would be a statistic right now. I would have been one of those soldiers who came home and committed suicide.
I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan.
Your gift today of $19 a month can help us provide the programs and services desperately needed by our wounded service members. Call or go online with a pledge and you'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket. Make that call now.
Say a prayer for peace. Until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It calls me a grouper. So fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah.
It's the Fish Florida Show with your host, Riscala Stevens, bringing the outdoors to you every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on the WDBF Radio Network. And now, your host, Riscala Stevens.
Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I never did hear from Mike with, what is it, King of the Glades. I think he's probably having some kind of issue with cell coverage because he's out kind of in a wooded area. He's out there in the middle of nowhere sometimes. That's probably why we never did hear from Mike this morning. But I had asked my next guest to call a little early. Since we have a few extra minutes, I'd like to share a few extra minutes with them as well. Good morning, Carol. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Riscala. Thanks so much for having me on this morning.
Oh, well, a happy Mommy's Day to you, my dear.
Thank you. And we'd like to wish everyone who's listening happy Mother's Day from the Mermaids at Mermaid Vodka.
So if I understand correctly, you sponsor a team, right? You sponsor a fishing team?
We do. Actually, we have 3 teams that we sponsor. We have all ladies team, Real Girls, and we're fishing June 1st in the ladies fish off out of Pompano Beach. And we also have, of course, the Fish Mavericks, which is a real big fishing team. And their first episode airs on Discovery Channel July 8th at 7 a.m.
Wow.
And then we have Team Gotcha, and that's our sport fishing team. And I also fish on that team as well. And that's out of, primarily we fish the Jimmy Johnson Billfish tournament and a few other smaller tournaments. But that's our main deal is Jimmy Johnson. So, yeah, so we're all about fishing.
Have you got anything to share? You know, most of the reports that we've had this morning, there seems to be a lot of mahi-mahi moving in. We call them dolphin. I have to hesitate sometimes calling them dolphin because people look at me and go, you didn't kill one of them, did you? No, no, not what you're thinking, not at all. But I know that we've had a report of them moving in, wahoo moving in, I think they said, and some mackerel, if I remember right. What can you add to it?
Well, I'm actually in a different area from where I normally am. I'm fishing out of Demery Key this morning.
Oh, wow.
Or I should say for the weekend, which is located by Bokeelia, St. James City, Matlacha. It's on the west coast of Florida, you know, over by Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hidden little gem, a beautiful little 20-acre slice of paradise, a little island.
Oh, my.
That I'm really fortunate. A friend of mine owns it, and we mostly do onshore fishing here because it's so good. It's typically, you know, when snook's in season, we're banging the snook all day. But right now, you know, it's kind of it's a little hit or miss over here. We've had some sheep's head and a few other, you know, some snapper, but nothing really major. Nothing major to report, unfortunately. But you know what? We always have a good time out there, and it doesn't matter what you're fishing for as long as you're out fishing.
Yeah, there you go. Captain Hook, you know where she's talking about?
I kind of know where she's talking about. She's down around the Fort Myers area. It's very secluded where she's talking about, I believe. Isn't that right, Carolyn?
It is. It is. I was actually sorry, there's some wildlife out here this morning. We've got swans
that's
on the
all right.
island. They're chiming in. Yeah. It's very remote, and the signal hopefully is strong enough that you all can hear me well because that's how remote it is. It's
wow.
A beautiful little slice of paradise, like I said earlier.
Oh, my goodness.
Then did it get any damage after the hurricane went through there last year?
Well, you know, it's interesting you should bring that up because this is where I spent Irma.
Wow.
My friend who has her little island here called Demery Key, Dorothy, has just a menagerie here. She has peacocks and white swans, black swans, and guinea hens, and 2 gigantic poodles. And I came here with the intent to help her batten down the hatches and move her inland during Irma. And she said, "No way, Jose, I'm not leaving my animals," which I completely understand, being an animal lover myself.
Wow.
So it was like Noah's Ark. We moved all the birds into the tool shed, and we luckily she's got a gigantic generator that powers everything. So we lost power early on, and that generator kicked on, and I was really happy to hear that Cummins diesel engine running on the generator. But we had a lot of damage in terms of, you know, trees down. There's a lot of foliage around the house and, of course, on the island. It's, you know, Indian shell mounds. And so there was a lot of damage in terms of just trees and whatnot, but we were very fortunate that the house was untouched. The trucks, the cars, nothing, the people, everything was safe. And we got away really with minimal damage. And we spent about a week chopping and sawing and
wow.
and mulching things and getting them cleared out of the way so that the causeway was clear and the path to the house was clear and the driveway and
What's
stuff.
what's the weather
You
doing?
can't complain about that.
What's the weather doing down there right now where you're at?
It's overcast right now. It's we haven't had a drop of rain, even though they've been calling for rain all weekend.
Right.
We were prepared for it, but we really haven't had a drop of rain, and it's very dry and dusty here, so we could use a little bit. But it's actually beautiful out. I'm out on the front beach right now as I speak to you, and it's not nearly as humid as it usually is this time of year, and it's quite nice. The water is perfect, ideal conditions. Come on in, fish. So, yeah, we're probably going to get the kayaks out a little later and go offshore, just paddling around a little bit, because it is Mother's Day. So we're going to church and then dinner at the Tarpon Lodge, and
there you go.
We'll have a great day. But,
there
it's a beautiful day.
Right now I'm looking at the GOES satellite, and it looks like this low pressure area is starting to turn into something just off the coast of Cuba, and it's starting to turn into a big blob. So we hope.
I told you earlier. It looks like circulation. It looks like the circulation is starting.
It is, and they're anticipating it moving up into the Gulf of Mexico and out away from us. But who knows?
I hope so.
But the remnants is what we're going to have to deal with for the next few days.
Carol, you were saying you were there for the during the hurricane, Hurricane Irma. There was a bizarre phenomenon that happened during that hurricane. I'm wondering if you experienced it, where the water disappeared in the bay. Did you hear about that?
Oh, we experienced it on both sides of the island. The back side of the island actually opens up to a boat basin where we keep the boats, and then the front side, of course, is the Gulf. And the water went out of both. And when I saw it go out of the boat basin, which I had never seen before, I was very concerned. And I went in the house and I said to Dorothy, we should get up to the third floor.
Yeah.
Because I thought that's
it's going to come back with a vengeance. Yeah.
Right. And, they say it typically, you don't have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But, so we saw it out back, and then about 10 hours later, kind of as Irma started to cross over the area, it went out of the front. And again, it was kind of freaky. I'd never seen that before.
I've spent almost all of my life in Florida. I had never heard of anything like that. I have a friend of mine that lives, actually a cousin of mine lives in Tampa. She was telling me there were people walking in the bay, literally walking in the bay.
Mm-hmm.
The water had disappeared.
Yeah, we could have done that. Oh, here come some guys right now on a flat boat. They're fishing. Not yet.
We're going to get an impromptu fishing report here.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, they got out early so they could get home to the moms. That's always a dicey. Honey, I'm going fishing. It's Mother's Day. So
yeah, but we'll make it short. We promise. We'll be right back. Yeah. There's a reason that dog houses were invented, and that's one of them right there.
Well, Carolyn, you got to tell us. You got to tell us now. We got you on the air. You got to tell us about Mermaid Vodka and what's going on with Mermaid Vodka.
Yeah. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Well, since we first talked to you in March, which was really our big launch at the Jimmy Johnson Billfish Tournament, we have had an overwhelming response to our vodka. We're getting it into a lot of liquor stores, a lot of restaurants and bars. We've been sponsoring a lot of fundraisers for Boys and Girls Clubs. That's one of our main charities. And we're mainly gearing up for the big launch, which is the Fish Mavericks. That's our big sponsorship. And, it's a nationally aired show on the Discovery Channel. The Fish Mavericks, I like to tell people, it's like Duck Dynasty for fishing. In fact, it's the same producer. And these guys are so funny and so interesting. And, of course, they're phenomenal anglers. So they're going to be a real treat for everyone to see on Discovery. It's their first season on Discovery. So Mermaid Vodka, when you tune in and you watch the Fish Mavericks, you'll see our mermaid who sits on a fish hook and like I tell everybody, there's a reason for that. You know, the founder enjoys fishing. So our mermaid who sits on a fish hook, she's on the side of their boats, their trucks, their shirts, and along with some of their other sponsors, we've been able to kind of partner up and do some things with Engel coolers and get our co-branding going there. So it's it's been a whirlwind, for a new brand to come out and really get this type of reception. We're right now only distributed in the state of Florida, but we're talking with distributors in New Jersey, Maryland, and Louisiana. So that's fairly rapid expansion for a launch, a startup brand.
You aren't kidding. So like a rocket.
Yeah. And I know, Rascalia, you tasted it at the Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone had the same reaction as you. It's so smooth I could drink it straight.
Yeah, I was amazed because I'm not really an alcoholic. I apologize. That's not right. I'm not an alcohol kind of person. I drink occasionally, but when it comes to hard liquor, I just have a hard time with hard liquor. And so one of the young ladies had offered me, I first rejected. I said, just try it. I'll take a little sip to see. I was shocked. I really was. It's a very, very high quality product. You can tell as soon as you taste it. It's a very high quality product. Then I find out it's a locally, one of my favorite things, it's a locally owned business. And so we're dealing with a locally owned business, a very high quality product. Why not help them in whatever way I can? And, for me, small businesses, I said this earlier on the show, this country was built on the back of small businesses. That's why America is what America is. And when we get back to the small businesses again, we'll see the changes. You'll see how people treat you when you do business with them. Right now, these big global corporations are nothing but a number. You're literally nothing but a number to them. So if they lose 1,000 of you, it's no big deal. If somebody like me a small business like me was to lose 1,000 customers, it would literally put me out of business. If somebody like Carolyn was to lose 1,000 customers, it would put a pretty big dent in her business. So the importance of each individual to us as small business owners is the value that we give you is much greater than a global corporation will give you. So again, she had all these pluses: a great quality product, local, family, I think it's a family owned. I may be mistaken about that, but it's locally owned, small business. And these are the things that I look to try to promote in America, because this is what really is going to make us great again, my friends. We have a president who's doing his job, doing whatever he does. I don't want to get political, but if you want to make this country great again, you go back and you study history. History says this country was made great on the backs of small businesses. Let's help the small businesses, because basically it's, when you look at it as a business person, we always look at the bottom line. You can tell me all the sugar coating, you can tell me all the sweet stuff. What's the bottom line? What do I get out of it? Here's what we get out of it. By helping promote small businesses and locally owned businesses, it helps promote our society. By helping promote our society, you and I, everybody benefits. Those are the kind of deals that I try to work when I'm in my business, when I'm doing business. When both sides of the fence benefit from whatever the transaction is, there's no reason not to do that transaction over and over again. There's no reason not to have a relationship. These are the reasons that I ask some of these people to come on and be on the show and share what they have with you, because I truly believe in what they are, and I believe that this country was built on the back of small businesses, and that's really where we should be helping each other. We have spent so much money on so many other things that we've forgotten that the very basic thing of America is families and small businesses. Those are two things that you'll hear me harp on all the time. I was a former foster parent for the state of Florida. I believe in families. When I was married, we fostered about 19 children. I believe in our future. I believe in children. I believe so much of it that we adopted 7 children. So I'm not blowing smoke at you. I'm telling you what I believe in, and the actions, the experience of my life will prove that to you. A small locally owned company, if you have a choice to deal with them, just like what I said with Dockside, if you have a choice to deal with them, you'd go with them. Anyway, we're running out of time. I went on a little bit longer than I expected to. I want to thank Carol for taking the time to call in. We are out completely. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a week. It's the Fish Florida Show.
I wake up in the morning, oh, it's so cold. I'm